ॐ हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मंत्र ॐ ईशावास्य इदगुं सर्वम् ॐ यत्किञ्चित् जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीताः मा कृतः कस्यचिद्धनम् Ishavasam idagum sarvam. Whatever here, yat kinchit, whatever here is to be achadaniyam. Vasyam, Shankaracharya, achadaniyam. To be covered with Ishvara. What? Jagatyam jagat. Whatever is there in this world. What is jagat? Jayate gacchati iti jagat. That which is born and gone. Understand? Jagat means born and gone. So this entire world is to be covered. Covered means what? Shankaracharya said that is a buddhi. Understand? Atmana सर्वजंतूनाम आत्मा संप्रत्यगात्मतया तेन स्वेन रूपेण आत्मना ईशावास्यम आच्छादनीयम. So Isha means what? Pratyagatmataya. Shankaracharya says Pratyagatma means that which is you. We saw Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha and Pratyak. Pratyak means yourself. So you have the achadaniyam means have a vision. Ishavasyopanishad gives us the vision how to look at this world. Understand? There are different names and rupas are there. So, all nama rupas are what? Pratyagatmataya ahameva idam sarvamiti. Whatever here is not separate from you. So, ahantaya. See, that's why yesterday I told you that by meditation you can go to the witness consciousness. But whatever here, it is all you only. Sarva bhutastham atmana. All beings are in you only. And you are in all beings. And therefore, we have to gain this vision that whatever here is me. And that's why Shankaracharya says, Ishvara means what? It is you, non-separate from you. See, this is the beauty of Vedanta. It doesn't start with two and becomes one. It starts with one only. Understand? Non-dual, one non-dual consciousness. That is everywhere. Now the question is what? All this is one me only. Then I should see that this is me. This laptop is me, mobile is me, table is me, floor is me, carpet is me. Understand? Everything is me. Everything is you. But we don't see it. Only up to this body only we have what? I. But not anything else. So why it happening? So Shankaracharya gives the example of the chandana, sandalwood. If there is a piece of sandalwood, you keep it in the water for a long time, what will happen? It will develop some kind of the smell. Understand? So, chandana garvadehe udakadi sambandha. When they are in the water for a long time, what happens? There is a kind of the daurgandhyam. There is a bad smell comes from the chandana. So the wood of chandan has a very nice fragrance. But instead of that, because it was in the connection with the water for a long time, it develops the bad smell, understand? Then what we have to do? To remove that, nigarshanena. What we do? We have to take the stone and we have to rub it on the stone. So whatever that effect is there will go. So here also what happened? Tadeva swatmani adhyastham swabhavikam kartutva bhoktrutva. What we have done? We have taken ourselves as body, mind, sense complex. Karya, karana, sanghata. From so many births, we are taking ourselves as body, mind, sense complex. And therefore, we don't see that whatever here is you. So now what we have to do? Jagat Dvaita Rupam. So the Jagat is what? Dvaita Rupam. Duality is there. Understand? We see everything separate from us. But that separation is what? That is called Daurgandhyam, understand? Misunderstanding. Wrong understanding. So, now what we have to do? We have to remove this. So, to remove this, what we have to do? Shankaracharya says, Nama Rupa Karmakhyam Vikarajatam Paramatma Satya. So, this Nama, Rupa and Karma. We have superimposed the name and the form and the action on self. And on the self, when we have superimposed all these things. So now we have to remove the superimposition. Yesterday, that's why I told you the Vedanta Shastra is not to tell you that you are consciousness. It is meant for what? To removing the superimpositions. So that's why how Atma Bhavanaya Tyaktam Syat. Atma Bhavanaya. Atma Bhavanaya means you have to have that vision that whatever here is one non-dual consciousness. But I see this is Jada, inert. In the world, we see this too. This body is conscious, right? But this mic is what? Inert. Correct? Jada Chetana. In Sanskrit we call Jada Chetana. Now why this is Chetana and this is Jada? If everything is one non-dual consciousness, this should be also consciousness. It should be Chetana, right? Because the consciousness is here. Here also consciousness is there. Then why this is called Jada and this is Chetana? See, we have to think, we have to understand this. If everything is consciousness, everything is one non-dual consciousness, Atma, then this also should be what? Conscious. Correct. But this is not conscious. This body is conscious. This mind is conscious. Why? What makes this consciousness Jada and this consciousness Chetana? Sentient, insentient. Understand? In English, they use certain words. Anybody can tell what is the difference? Why this is sentient and this is not?
Reflecting capabilities.
Sukshma Sharira. This body is called Sthula Sharira. If you are learning Vedanta, in Tattva Bodh Shankaracharya has given the definition of each word. You memorize that. What is this Sthula Sharira? Panchikrut Panchamahabhuta Krutam. This body is created by this gross five elements. And then this body is called Bhogayatanam. Is a place for the enjoyments. Like a counter. You go to the bank, you have to go to the counter. But this body has a capacity to have a sukshma sharira, subtle body. So, because of the presence of the subtle body, this body is sentient, chetana. See, that's why when we see the dead body, what is there? There is no sukshma sharira, understand? The subtle body, the prana left the body and then body becomes inert. Once the prana is there, as long as the prana, the subtle body, sukshma sharira is in this body, it is sentient, it is chetana. This mic doesn't have a capacity to have sukshma sharira, subtle body, and therefore it is inert. So this sukshma sharira is what? Apanchikruta pancha mahabhutaihi kritam. It is a subtle elements which is sattvika. And in Upadesh Sarma in the evening we'll see this. This Sukshma Sharira has a two parts. One is called sense organs and mind. Second part is five sense of action, karamendriya, and prana, pancha prana. So, this Sukshma Panchamahabhuta, the subtle elements, we call Tanmatra. In Sanskrit, called Tanmatra. Tanmatra means only that. Akasha is Akasha, Vayu is Vayu, Agni is Agni. So, that Satvika Panchamahabhut, and from this Satvika Panchamahabhut, the mind is being created. And because it is a Satvika, it has a capacity to reflect the consciousness. And therefore, this body is Chetan. Because the consciousness is being reflected in the mind, that consciousness is reflected in the senses. And out of these five senses, one sense is called with this tvacha, tvagendriya, and the sense of touch. It is all pervasive. And therefore, this body looks conscious. Because of the skin, understand this, tvagendriya. It's all pervasive. And so, whether it is a jad or chetan, when we say chetana, brahmadi stamba paryantam, starting from the highest body called brahmaji, and stamba. Stamba means small blade of grass or the pillar, both. Everything is pervaded by the consciousness. Now, this word pervaded has a problem. Why? There is a dual. Consciousness is, the world is pervaded by the consciousness. When I say there is a word and consciousness. Dual. Not only that, the pervasion word also has a problem. It's only external. When I say pervaded means what? That's why in and through. That's why Swamiji used to say word. Consciousness is in and through everything. It is not in. Clay is not in pot. Clay is not on pot. Pot is clay. Same way, the Jagat is consciousness. And therefore Shankaracharya said, Evam Ishvara Atma Bhavana Yuktasya. This entire creation is one non-dual Ishvara Atma. But who can have this vision? How we can gain this vision? Who is qualified to gain the vision? So Shankaracharya says, Putradi Eshanatraya Sannyasah eva adhikaraha. The person who has very firm dispassion, vairagya. So, in our Shastra, all human desires are divided into three. Vitteshna, Putreshna, Lokeshna. Eshna means desire. The person who has given up all these desires, he becomes the adhikari to gain this vision. Why? Because if you have a desire, that means what? What we can desire? Understand? Can you have a desire for the blueness of the sky? Can you desire for the blueness of the sky? Eh? Why? You know it's not there. Correct? There is no blueness in the sky. So for any desire, there are two things are there. First, we take it as it is real. And second thing, sukha buddhi, satya buddhi, sukha buddhi. Until and unless we have a satya buddhi and sukha buddhi, the desire won't be there. But the person who has understood it is not real, nitya anitya vivek, knows that is not real. So here giving up is not physical, it's an understanding. What is understanding? You give up the pot by understanding it is clay only. Same way, this world, tyaktena. What you have to given up? You have to given up the reality which is given to the duality. What we have to give up is the reality which we have superimposed on this world. And therefore, giving up the reality, giving up the sukha buddhi. But that sukha buddhi, this will make me happy one day. That's what in Bhajgovidam Shankaracharya tadapina munchati asha pasham. Still we have a hope. This will make me happy one day. Therefore, that what we have to remove, tyakta, is what? That satya buddhi. We have to remove the satya buddhi. Once you know it's not real, there is no way can be a desire. But we take everything as real. So Shankaracharya gives the argument, if there is a nahi tyaktah mrutah putrah va bhrutya va atma sambanditaya abhavat, that which is not there, the dead son, you are not going to, or dead servant, you are not going to have any connection with him. Why? Because he's dead. You understand what I'm telling? Same way, if we take this world as real, then we'll have some kind of relationship with it, and then we have to give up. But once you know this world is not real, what the word we use? Mithya. That's another problem. Most of the Vedantis, they translate mithya as illusion. It is not illusion, understand. This body is not illusion. So there are 4 definitions are there. What is called mithya? Sadasadbhyam anirvachaniyam. Mithya means what? You cannot say sat means is. You cannot say it is not. You cannot say pot is, and you cannot say pot is not. Understand? Anirvachanya means you cannot categorically say this is or this is not. That's called mithya. Pot is. See, that's why whole Vedanta is a very different way. Pot is. We create the pot, we use the pot, and we say there is no pot. Why? Mrittiketeva satya. So once I know mrittika, then pot is mithya. Then there is a second meaning, is there, second definition. Adhisthana ananyatvam. That which doesn't exist apart from its own substrate. There is no pot without clay. Adhisthana ananyatvam. In second chapter Gita, Shankaracharya gives another definition. Yadrupam nishchitam tadrupam vyabhicharati tat asat. Whatever form you decide, this is pot, it changes. Vyabhicharati, it changes. That means that which is constantly changing is called mithya. This body is constantly. Don't think one day suddenly it will become old. It's constantly changing. So that's why in 15th chapter Bhagavan says what? Na rupamasya tatha eva upalabhyate. Anything which you decide this is how it is, it changes. Yadrupam nishchitam tadrupam vyabhicharati. Then there is the last definition. You see it, but it's not there. You see it, it's not there. You see the pot, but pot is not. Because what is there is clay. Anything which you experience, understand? Not only seeing, anything you experience is mithya. Therefore, tyaktena means, Shankaracharya says, it's our understanding that this is not real. What is the reality is me, Atma. Then once everything is being seen as mithya, magrudaha kasyasidvanam and dhanam. Then where is the kind of the greed? Grudaha, greed. Understand? As I said, suppose, this America, all sale, everything is on sale. Suppose somebody advertise, I'm going to sell the blueness of the sky. Is going to be there? Anybody is going to buy the blueness? Why? It's not there, understand? So, here Shankaracharya says that dhana vishayam magrudi makarshi kasyasid dhvanam swasya va dhanam ma kakshi parasya va. Anybody's wealth, one's own wealth or others' wealth, understand? Why? I have a special word for this wealth, money. It's a necessary devil. This money is a necessary devil. And you can't live without that. But whether it belongs to you or not, that's what we have to think. And therefore, and Shankaracharya says, Mag athava magrudaha kasmat kasya sitva akshepartha na kasya asti dhanam asti. Understand? Then money doesn't belong to anybody. Understand? It is not your or mine. Sorry. Na kasyati. Why? Because it's not there. And therefore, what we have to say? Atma eva idam sarvam iti ishvara bhavanaya sarvyam tyaktam ataha atmanah eva idam sarvam. When everything is being given up, the all nam rupa karma, kartutva, bhoktrutva. From the standpoint of this body, we have a kartutva. From the standpoint of the mind, we have bhoktrutva. That's why Gita says what? Nayam hanti na hanyate. Nayam hanti means there is no doership, no kartutva. Na hanyate, na bhoktrutva. Understand? You have to see. And while performing action also you can say, Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit. One who has understood the reality, he knows, I am neither doer nor enjoyer. While performing action, understand? That's why Gita very nicely explains all this. Because everything is one non-dual, the self. So, karmanyabhi pravrutopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Bhagavan said, even though he is in midst of all activities, he is not performing any action. So that means we have to understand whenever I comes, that kartutva, bhoktrutva, the doership and enjoyership is there. So, there is a kartutva, bhoktrutva, understand. From the standpoint of body, there is a kartutva. From the standpoint of mind, there is a enjoyership, bhoktrutva. What we have to say is what? Naham karta, naham bhokta. It's there, but it doesn't belong to you. That's why kasyasit dhanam means it doesn't belong to you at all. So, atmataya, atmanaha eva idam sarvam, atma eva sarvam, ataha mithya vishayam bruddhim makarshi. Because it is everything is mithya, where is the question of having a greed, having a possessing. You don't have to, because nothing is there. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. Nasato vidyate bhava, na bhavo vidyate sata. That which is sat, there is no absence of you. And there is no presence of asat, mithya. That's what we have to understand. But how to understand that? That's the main question. When you say mithya, this jagat is mithya. Understand? Puja Swamiji gives very nice example. Suppose this is a flower. You say this is flower. Understand? The petal is flower. Petal is flower. The stem is flower. The sepal is flower. Right? Suppose you take the car. Door is car. The wheel is car. The trunk is car. The tire is car. Right? So that which is not car, how can it make car? Can you make the car from non-car? Petal is not flower, stem is not flower, sepal is not flower, thread is not flower. So non-flower can make flower? What we call it? Sanghata. It is called what? Sanghata. Understand? The particular arrangement is called flower. There is no real flower, understand. It's only an arrangement. That particular arrangement of the petals we call flower. In reality, there is no flower, understand. When I say body, human body, it is what? Arrangement of different anga, limbs, is called human body. Everything is what? Sanghata. Everything is assembled, put together. Swamiji says. What is a Sanghata? Intelligently put together to serve a purpose. That means flower is and flower is not. Do you understand? Now we take petal. Petal also is what? Made up of many cells. Cell is made up of many parts. So anything you take, whole solar system also is what? Sanghata. Sun is what? Sanghata. Sanghata, if you understand, then you can see that seeing the flower, you can say there is no flower. Understand? Seeing the laptop, you say it is not there. Because it is assembled, put together. anything in the world, it is Sanghata. And therefore, there is no real flower. Understand? Though we say this is flower, there is no flower. It is only an arrangement, particular way of arrangement. That particular arrangement is called flower. Particular arrangement is called pomegranate. So there is no pomegranate. It's only an arrangement. Therefore, anything you take in this world, atom also is what? Arrangement, put together. Particle is what? Put together. That means what? This world is not real. The whole world is what? Sanghata. Once you understand, but we have to go one step further. What definition I give you? Intelligently put together to serve a purpose. You have to understand this definition. Intelligently put together means what? There should be somebody who assembled them, create them. And that person or that one is what? Conscious being, intelligently put together. To serve a purpose. The person who is going to use also is conscious being. The person who created also is conscious being. The person who is going to use is also what? When I say aeroplane, created by conscious being for conscious being. Understand? So the whole world is Sanghata. And who is that? In evening we saw Karturagyaya. Understand? There is a Jagatkarta, Ishvara. And that Ishvara is not separate from you. Why? One who created this world is intelligent being. Now, two things we have to remember. Knowledge resides in consciousness. Knowledge resides in consciousness. The substratum of knowledge is consciousness. And also, happiness resides in consciousness. So that means the whole creation is created by Ishvara. He is what? Consciousness. And is being created, this body is created for Jiva. That Jiva also is what? Consciousness. So now we have two consciousness. Ishvara Chaitanya, Jiva Chaitanya. Two Chaitanya. I cannot say I am Ishwar. Why? Because I am not the one who has created this world. Understand this properly. If Ishvara is Jiva, then Ishwar becomes limited. If Ishvara is Jiva, then Ishvara becomes limited. If Jiva is Ishvara, then what? He is liberated. And in Hindi they say very nicely, अगर जीव ईश्वर से भिन्न है तो जीव मर्यादित हो जाएगा. If Jiva is separate from Ishvara, it is limited. And if Ishvara is separate from Jiva, अगर ईश्वर जीव से भिन्न है तो ईश्वर जड़ हो जाएगा. Yadrishyam tajjadam tadanityam. Yadrishyam tajjadam. That which is the object of your perception is inert. If Jiva is separate from Ishvara, Jiva is limited. Ishvara is separate from Jiva, Ishvara becomes inert. Because there is only one source of consciousness, that is you. You are consciousness. Anything other than you is what? Jada, inert. There is only one source of consciousness, that is you. And you are consciousness. If Ishvara is separate from you, not possible. Therefore, there cannot be two consciousness. Was it definition of consciousness? Yesterday we saw self-effulgent, self-existent, swata siddha, swaprakasha chaitanya. Swata siddha. We don't have to prove I am consciousness. Do you have to prove? No. You are self-effulgent consciousness. And therefore, Jiva and Ishvara cannot be two. Not possible. Logically also not possible. And that's why I'm telling you all this Bhakti Sampradaya, how they are separating themselves from Ishvara. You cannot. Sakshad Aparoksha Chaitanya. It is called Sakshad Aparoksha Chaitanya. And therefore, Shankaracharya said, Ishavasyopanishad sarvam means it is you who is pervading in this entire creation. And therefore, the Nama Rupa is what? Mithya Vishayam. Being this whole creation, being Mithya, there is a question of having a greed, having a desire for this world. Magrudaha. Shankaracharya says, once you have the mithya buddhi, there is no question of having a desire for it. So, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. That mithya buddhi we have to develop. Mithya buddhi means what? It has no capacity to make you happy. Sukha buddhi. And our problem is, that's why I said two things, Satya Buddhi and Sukha Buddhi. Two are there. Most of the Vedantis are good in Satya Buddhi. The problem starts with the Sukha Buddhi. Ice cream is mithya, but when you eat, I enjoy ice cream. Yeah, it is mithya, but it's nice. I enjoy. That's why that Sukha Buddhi has to go. Not only Satya Buddhi has to go, that Sukha Buddhi, it's very difficult. Satya Buddhi is, you can remove, but Sukha Buddhi doesn't go that way. Though it is mithya, but it is fine. That's why Magruda, Shankaracharya says, there is no desire, because any desire presupposes the Sukha Buddhi. Understand? So there is no Sukha Buddhi in this world. That's why Bhagavan has given only one definition for the wise person in Gita. Only one definition, understand? Atmanieva Atmana Tushta. One who doesn't require anything else other than the self to be happy. Atmanieva Atmana Tushta. We need so many things to be happy. That's our problem. Our Paratantrata is this. That's why Swamiji never used the word ignorant. Even Shankaracharya doesn't use that. Agnani. Moodhamati. It is called what? Moodhamati. The Swamiji used to use word idiot. Never said ignorant, idiot. Shankaracharya says moodhamati. Why? Because where there is no happiness, he is asking for that happiness. There was a nice sentence. Everybody is a beggar. Somebody is beggar, standing in the temple, he is a beggar, and somebody outside sitting, he is a beggar. Both are beggars, understand? All ignorant people, all idiots are a beggar. Why? We are begging happiness from different objects. हे पुत्र सुख दे दो, हे मनी सुख दे दो, हे पति हे पत्नी सुख दे दो. That's why Shankaracharya says mithya vishaya. Once we have understood it is one non-dual consciousness, there is no question of having a greed or the desire. Because you are happy with yourself. That's a problem with us. We are never be happy. In Hindi, there is a word, and Swamiji never translated that word. He always used that word, baki. In our life, always there is a baki. समझते हो baki? Something left out. Age of 80 also. Baki. List is long and life is short. Always something is baki for us. Something is left out. Shesha. In Sanskrit it's called Shesha. The person who has gained this vision, for him there is no baki. I have to see that person, I have to go there, I have to go there, I have to meet this person. Always the list is there. Magrudaha, understand? Magruda means there is no desire for gaining something or giving up something. Na dveshti, na kankshati. In 14th chapter, Bhagavan gives beautiful definition for wise person. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha panda. There are three things are there. Prakasham, knowledge. Pravritti, activities. Moha, delusion. Nakankshati nivrutti, nadveshti pravrutti. Whatever is happening doesn't want to get rid of anything. Understand? Nivrutti nakankshati. There is no desire to get rid of anything. Nadveshti, if there is a pravrutti, there is no dislike for it. Therefore, whatever is happening is all at the level of this Jagat. Whether it is a body, mind, sense complex, everything is what? Magrida. This is important. Understand? I know doesn't, but that Magrudaha should go. There is no desire for anything. But I don't understand what you are telling. एवं आत्मविदः पुत्रादिशनात्र संन्यासन आत्मज्ञाननिष्ठ आत्मरक्षित विदेशः. It's fine. Vunjitaha. You have to protect this vision. Shankaracharya says, Vunjitaha means not to enjoy. Palayita means you have to protect this vision. But it's not possible, Swamiji. Atha itarasya atmagna anatmagnataya atmagrahanaya asaktasya. So there are people, those who are taking this anatma as the self. And taking this body, mind, sense complex as I. Atmagrahanaya. Upadishati dvitiya mantra. People, those are not qualified to gain this vision, Shastra gives the second mantra. If I am not qualified to gain this vision, then I have to make myself qualified for this. And how to make? So, second mantra is for that. Mantra. Kurvanneveha karmani जिजी विषेच्छतगुं समाह जिजी विषेच्छतगुं समाह एवं त्वयि नान्यथोस्ति एवं तयि नान्यथेतोस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे न कर्म लिप्यते नरे कुर्वन्नेव इह कर्माणि. May you perform the actions. With what? Jiji Vishet. Have a desire to live Shatagam Samaha. Sama means samvatsar. 100 years. Understand? Having a desire to live 100 years, may you perform the action. Why? Because performing action only can purify your mind. Yesterday we saw Chitta Shodhakam, Mukti Sadhakam. So, people who cannot understand this first mantra, Shastra gives this called Pravrutti Marga. First one is a Nivrutti, this is a Pravrutti. But how? Why you are telling this? Na tvayi evam tvayi na anyatha itaha asti. There is no other way. Understand? Accept this. Why? Because even if we say somebody don't perform any action, is it possible? Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. This ignorance doesn't allow you to sit for a second also. Not knowing is the problem. So, this avidya, Shankaracharya's word is avidya kama karma. Whole our life is what? Avidya kama karma. Not knowing the true nature of the self. But yesterday we saw that not knowing the self doesn't allow you to sit. Not knowing the self, if you don't know Russian language, no problem, understand. But if you don't know yourself, what happens? You are being a conscious being, you develop some kind of understand opinion about yourself. When you say I am body, that means I am martya. Understand? I am body means what? I am mortal. I am mind, I am an ignorant. Now, I am mind, I am unhappy. I am intellect, I am ignorant. Do you understand what I'm telling? I am body and therefore I am mortal. I am mind, therefore I am unhappy. I am buddhi, therefore I am ignorant. So, this ignorance creates these three your own. Nobody has given you this knowledge. Understand? This is your own opinion about yourself. You already decided. I am mortal, I am ignorant, I am unhappy. But you yourself have decided about yourself. You concluded yourself. But is it acceptable to you? Your decision is there and you are not accepting your own decision. I am mortal, I am unhappy, I am ignorant. Anything which you go against cannot be your nature. Anything which you don't like cannot be your nature. Understand this logic? Fire cannot say, oh, I'm tired of this heat. Sun cannot say, I'm tired of this light. I need to get rid of this light. No. Why? Prakasha Swarupa. Sun is Prakasha Swarupa. Fire is heat, Ushnata. Understand? But you are questioning your own decision. Therefore, if you don't like to be mortal, that means you have to be what? Immortal. If you don't like to be unhappy, that means happiness has to be your nature. You don't like to be an ignorant, that means knowledge has to be your nature. Understand? And therefore, avidya creates this wrong conclusion about ourselves called moha. Moha means wrong, erroneous knowledge, not delusion. Forget about the delusion. It's a moha means what? Erroneous knowledge about oneself. And because you have concluded I am mortal, then you desire to get rid of the mortality. Avidya kama. There is a desire to get rid of the ignorance. There is a desire to get rid of the mortality. There is a desire to get rid of the unhappiness. Kama. And that kama, that desire, makes you perform an action. Avidya kama karma. So as long as this avidya is there, that action is there. See, that means what? Avidya, kama, karma. So karma is a grandchild of avidya. And therefore karma cannot remove avidya. Do you understand? But that doesn't mean karma is useless. The second mantra says karma is useless. Karma is useful. So may you desire to live 100 years performing kurvan, performing an action. Na anyatha asti. There is no other way for you. But that performing action, what we have to do? Na karma lipyate nare. We have to perform the action, but in such a way that doesn't taint you. How? It's called Nishkam Bhava. So when you perform the action without any self motive, that desire cleans your mind, purify your mind. And therefore, Shastra says, person who has developed the Vairagya, for him, this is a vision, Ishavasyopanishad. The person who is not qualified, he should perform the action. But remember, in the action also two things are there: action and result of the action. Karma Yoga is a disposition towards the karma phala. It's called Karma Yoga. Disposition towards the karma phala is called Karma Yoga. Yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaya. Sangam tyaktva. There is no attachment for the karma phala. And disposition for the karma is called sannyasa. Disposition for karma phala is karma yoga. Disposition for the action is called sannyasa. So in karma yoga, two things are there. Yesterday we already saw. With reference to karma, we have to develop Ishwararpan buddhi. With reference to karma phala, we have to develop prasad buddhi. Through this Ishwararpan buddhi and prasad buddhi, we develop this passion. Antakaran Shuddhi. It is called Antakaran Shuddhi. See, that's why Bhagavan very clearly says that what is Antakaran Shuddhi? Now, how will you say what is Antakaran Shuddhi? Purification mind means what? So Bhagavan says this. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischara. We don't have to stop our indriyas. Vishayan charan, understand. Indriyas are wandering in these objects. But what kind of indriyas? Ragadvesha viyuktaihi indriyaihi. Those senses which are not impelled by the likes and dislikes. That means what? Atma Vashyahi. The senses which are under the control of the self. Without impelled by the Ragadvesha, it is wandering in this world. When you develop this, you don't have to remove Ragadvesha. Only thing is that we have to get rid of the spell of Ragadvesha. Tayoho vasham na agachat. Bhagavan says what? Don't come under the spell of Ragadvesha. All our activities are based on this Ragadvesha. That's our problem. So without coming under the pressure of Ragadvesha, when you are performing the actions, Bhagavan says what? Prasadam adhigacchati. Prasadam prasannata. Shankaracharya says what? Prasannata, cheerfulness. And once you have I'm telling you, the biggest siddhi in this world is that prasadam, understand? Prasannata, cheerfulness. In any situation, if your mind is quiet and happy, cheerful, it's very difficult. Why? When so many things are going on around us, always available to make you unhappy. Bhagavan said, prasadam adhigacchati. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi asya upajayate. Once you have a cheerful mind, this world cannot make you unhappy. That means what? What we need is cheerful mind. And that comes only by Ishwararpan Buddhi and Prasad Buddhi. And one Bhagwan says, once you have this Prasad Buddhi, understand? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi asyopajayate. Prasanna chetaso hi ashu buddhi paryavadishtati. Person who has a cheerful mind, ashu means shigra, immediate. Immediately he will have established into the nature of the self. Therefore, Shastra says you perform the action but don't get tainted by it. Na lipyate karma. Once we have Ishwararpana Buddhi, Prasad Buddhi, this karma cannot taint you. It gives you the purification of the mind which makes you qualified for the knowledge. We'll see tomorrow. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ